tokenizing the stock market would provide a lot of efficiencies and an accounting mechanism across all of those counterparties so that you couldn't oversell stocks, which would be great. Now, the T+0, right? Bitcoin settles 30 to 45 minutes, really, before there's 3 different validations on the network, and it actually settles, between exchanges. If you're doing it wallet to wallet, it might settle sooner. But that's also why it doesn't work for peer-to-peer payments, because there's latency, and also the cost to be able to send a transaction on the network is too high to buy a $5 cup of coffee. Now you could argue that you could use the Lightning Network and other layer 2s, but you just had Ethereum come out and say that their original thesis on layer 2s being the solution is not the solution, that it's got to be a layer 1. So all that being said, if there are huge unrealized losses in Bitcoin from significant downside because of other market volatility or implications for Tether or rotations out of the ETF, the investment banks and other people that have these allocations are now hugely in the red, and they have no way to de-risk for at least 24 hours because it settled T+1. If you move to real-time settlement on the back end of the stock market, you could de-risk from those positions much faster. And that's what my thesis is. When we do see, significant downside in Bitcoin and the rest of the market, they're going to have to move to T+0. They actually already have that option in place because of Project Ion. And when they moved to T+1 on May 28th of 2024, they had an option in there to move to T+0 with settlement through a digital asset. The only digital asset currently in the US that has regulatory clarity from the courts, or really, anything aside from the SEC and the CFTC, is XRP. Until the Clarity Act is passed, it has a moat. It's the only thing that could scale and meet the TPS requirements. And that would involve, the subnet that Bob Way currently has the patent on to be utilized. And you would also need, Project Ion could utilize it without that, but you've got these other amendments that have been passed on the XRPL in the last few years, and the side chains that have been created to be able to facilitate this. We're waiting on permission DEX, and once permission DEX is in place, I think you're going to see institutions come in droves to settle through XRP for their payment flows. You've already got digital identity, you have credentials, you have permission domains, and the last piece of that for those payment flows is a permission DEX.